Okay, so with this part, I'm actually talk to you guys about another key thing. And that next key thing is actually studio monitors. Studio monitors are key to any home recording studio professional facility there is out there in general. Um, what they're used for is to pretty much get a precise, accurate reference of your actual mix of any recording or audio song that you're working on. These monitors are actually used to be able to reference whatever that mix is, and you want to try to get that mix to transfer over and sound good on any other kind of speaker there is out there, whether it's little computer speakers or headphones or live sound monitors or clubs or in your car or whatever that may be. Studio monitors are key to actually getting a good sound out of your recordings, a good balance, so you know exactly what your mix sound like. Um, there's been so many times in the past where there's been people out there who are good producers and good audio engineers, whatever you want to call them, even if they're beginners or professionals. There's not too many professionals out there that will be trying to mix music just with a set of headphones, because that's just not the way. That's not the way to go. That's not the proper way to do it. It's not what we do. But there's a lot of beginners out there who actually do that. And I'm here to tell you that that's wrong. That's not what you want to do. You want to use headphones as one of your reference sources, but not all. You at least want to have at least two sets of monitors in your recording studio and a pair of headphones. If you cannot afford two sets of monitors, then you at least want to have your headphones and a set of nice monitors to be able to get a good reference mix. Um, having studio monitors is possibly and potentially the most key part of the recording studio in general. I mean, if you're mixing any kind of music and you're mixing it in your headphones, the problem with mixing it in your headphones is you can't say that little headphone or your cans or foldbacks, whatever you want to call them, is a 12-inch woofer. It just doesn't work like that. They don't give you that low end, that kick. And I know a lot of people out there like to talk about Beats by Dre headphones and all that kind of stuff. The problem is when you're mixing it with your headphones and you're recording, you've been recording all day, recording other artists all day, and you got those headphones on blast, and even if they're not on blast, if you got them loud and it's just constantly in your ear, just going for however long you're doing it or mixing your session and stuff, your ears get fatigued. So once you actually listen to it, if you did have a set of monitors, once you took the headphones off, it would actually be so loud from being in your ears so much, you would actually turn up your monitors, uh, the volume on your monitors, because your ears got a little fatigued and they kind of got used to hearing that loud banging and high end frequencies and stuff like that inside of your ear. So you want to have a good reference monitors in your room to be able to try to get a decent mix, um, or the best mix possible. Um, they range anywhere. I mean, for sets, I mean, they have some out there that I've seen that are $150 each. There's some out there that's $3,000 each. It all depends on whatever you're trying to buy. They have them that come in set. Like you can get a set. I got some back here. These are actually KRK Rocket 5s. These are one of the pair of monitors that I actually use. Uh, I have another set, M Audio BX8s, um, which is obviously the size 8s, and these are the Rocket 5s, but I use them for different reference monitors because not everybody has 8s. Uh, not everybody has 5s, so I try to make sure that my mixes sound good in the headphones on one size monitor and another size monitor, and I even try to reference it, my mixes and stuff, through other stereos or surround or whatever they may be. Um, so that's real key to having a recording studio. So if you want to look into getting some monitors, check that out. You can go to Guitar Center, Z Sounds, Google it, and a bunch of stuff will pop up. But it's key. It's definitely key to having a recording studio. So what do we have? We have computer, we have mic, we have audio interface, we have headphones, we have studio monitors. I mean, that's key in general. Some other stuff that I want to talk to you about having a home recording studio is if you want to start going a little extra. Now, this is really, really key. Of course, this is like the most important thing to me in general. And that's like I said before. Make sure that you have a good DAW, Logic recording, Pro Tools recording, what all different kind of softwares. You just want to make sure that you have some type of software, whether it's Cool Edit Pro, Adobe Audition, Logic, um, Pro Tools, Ableton Live, Studio One. I can go on for days. Recording DAW is important. Now, if you want to go take an extra step and better your recordings, something that's real key and important to get is actually let's see, let's pull this one out. Now I have different ones. I actually have professional preamps. I have a lot of different professional preamps. I use R2, Avalon, stuff like that. I even use this one called PreSonus 2 Pre. Now this one is more of your lower end budget kind of tube pre, but it's definitely an amazing piece of equipment to have in your recording studio, especially if you don't have much money, but you have drive and you have the gain button. And I mean, I use the drive to give it either that distortion or that warm sound. You got to let these things heat up because they have tubes in them. The tubes are very key and important to this piece of gear, but you have polarity buttons on there, and you have pad, 80 hertz button, and you have phantom power button. Pretty much what 48 phantom power is just pretty much to power up any condenser microphone. Some microphones, like tube microphones, have their own power supply, so they don't need 48 phantom power. But this is a nice little tube pre. It's a nice piece of gear to have a recording studio, especially if you're starting off. If you're a professional, you obviously know that there's a lot more amazing pieces of preamps and tube pre's and stuff like that that you can actually use for your home recording studio or your professional facility. Um, there's even other preamps that actually have EQs on them and actually have compressors on them and tube sound and all that kind of stuff. It all depends on what you're looking for. It all depends on the sound that you're going for. Uh, if you're trying to have a nice home recording studio and you're serious about it, and you're not on a beginner side, and you're definitely not on a 20-year professional side, then you want to try to find yourself somewhere in between. You got to kind of spend a little bit. Uh, you might not be at the top, and you definitely ain't the bottom. You want to try to sit somewhere in the middle. So you want to try to buy as much as gear that you need and the right gear to be able to get the kind of sound and recordings that you're looking for. Um, so as far as that, I mean, that's just key to having a great home recording studio setup. Now, some of the extra stuff that I'm going to talk to you about definitely is really important. Um, say, for instance, we can go with, check out, well, if you can see on my wall back there, these are actual acoustic sound panels that I built, absorption panels that I built myself from scratch. 703 Owens corn, corn and fiberglass inside of them. I built them with 2x4 wood. I put backing plate on them, wood backing plate on them, and I actually wrapped them in a nice fabric. Um, I built 8 of them. I have them all around my room. This is just some other kind of foam and gear that you need to kind of treat your room, if you're recording in a closet or a room, you want to have your room treated, whether that's the control room or whether you're trying to, actually treat your actual booth. You want to have the right material as Aerolex foam. Some some beginners really can't afford a lot, so they use blankets, they use egg cratons, they use, any kind of bed mattress foam or anything like that will work. As long as you're treating your room, you don't want to pick up a lot of absorption and natural ambience and reverbs and stuff like from the actual room. If you're that kind of engineer where you just want to have dead sound, then that's key. You want to make sure that you acoustically treat your control room and your actual studio booth. That's important to any good recording. Now, one thing I did want to talk to you guys about, and I'm going to just make it quick, short, and simple. Anytime you call yourself an audio engineer, a producer, a singer, or whatever you want to call yourself, make sure that you have the years behind it. Make sure that you have the terminology behind it, the professional, uh, terminology, technology, whatever you want to call it. Make sure that you have papers, uh, actual education behind, and not just education, but I mean everything, credentials, the whole 9 yards. Make sure that you have that to back up what you say, because that kind of, being a professional audio engineer, and I was even in this position at once myself. Um, when you go into any school to learn how to become a professional audio engineer, it's kind of almost like an insult to the people who've been doing this for 20 plus years, because they figure like, you call yourself a professional audio engineer just like me, and you don't even know what compression is, or you don't even know what reverb is, or you don't even know about the components inside of your audio gear. Like, don't go around calling yourself a producer if you make beats, but you're not Quincy Jones, or you're not somebody like that. I'm not saying that you don't you don't have to stop telling people. I'm not saying that you have to stop telling people about that, about what you do, but just be careful, because there's producers out there that actually have been in the game for 20 plus years, and got to work with some of the greatest people, Michael Jackson, Ray Charles, audio engineers who work with some of these people too. Those are people who deserve the credibility, and for you to put yourself on the same level as them and you know nothing is kind of like an insult. So just keep that in mind. Other things that are really important and really key is a pop filter. Now, I don't know if you can see back there, but that's one actually over my microphone. That's one of the microphones I use. I use 4 different microphones, but that pop filter is pretty much to help with a lot of Z sounds, S sounds, 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 just all kind of different sounds that will actually kind of like destroy, uh, and not so much destroy, but I would like to say that would kind of be kind of destructive and damaging to your actual recordings. Those pop filters are used to kind of, uh, you know, deflect and resist some of that kind of stuff. So that's why you want to make sure that you have some kind of pop filter. Um, the thing that my microphone is actually sitting, that's sitting behind my microphone, is the actual reflection filter. It's kind of like a portable booth when you don't have any acoustic treatment and stuff like that. You want to actually have that to be able to help out. It won't do the trick all the way, but it'll help it out a bit. So you just want to make sure that if you can't afford some of the acoustic treatment to have in your room and stuff like that, you want to actually try to invest and get some of that stuff. Um, I guess with the next segment of this video, I'm gonna just keep on going, try to entertain and educate you guys as much as possible. It's so much stuff. I don't have enough time to really go deep into depth of what I want to talk about as far as helping you guys out getting started, and just helping people learn new things. But I'm gonna definitely try to get through it. So just stay tuned, continue to watch these videos, watch the the first video before this, and watch the next one after this if you are not really sure uh, what I'm talking about. And also go back to my other video from 2 years ago, um, and really see how to start a home recording studio setup and stuff like that. And we'll go from there. So stay tuned.
I drop to my knees just to show